Hi, this is Frank Orlando, and this is December 22nd, and I guess we're 3 days away from Christmas. I was relaxing on my couch, and this thing about light rail, which I had brought up in an earlier video on Facebook, which this is going to go on YouTube. So I was riding down Pinellas Trail, and I've been driving Tampa Bay for 30 years. It took them 30 years to build an overpass on Gandy Boulevard because there was business interest that has been fighting that. Well, one of the hardest things to deal with right now is people who are taking I-75 in areas like Sarasota and Tampa, these big cities. Sarasota's got quite a backup, and people coming into town. Well, I'm coming at this from the perspective of Pinellas County, and my idea is to use an existing, what used to be a railroad track and became a recreational trail for people, for pedestrian, and it goes from downtown St. Pete and goes to Clearwater almost directly. From Clearwater, it kind of goes to Miranda's around up to Dunedin, Tarpon Springs, Newport Richey, Hudson. I don't think it goes past Hudson, but it would be really easy to cut in and go all the way to Spring Hill. And Spring Hill is an area, Wesley Chapel and Spring Hill, these are areas that have been growing tremendously. And that was used to be rural area out there like 20 years ago. Highway 54 was all cow pastures. I remember as a young man going through 54 and there was hardly anything out there. So, and that's almost completely filled in now. So an idea came in my mind. I know I had ideas before about light rail, and we had Ed Turnick, is a city councilman from the 90s, and I want to congratulate because I was a full supporter of his idea of light rail. He really inspired me, and I went to Seattle and saw their bus systems that ran on electricity in the 90s. They were just regular buses, but they had things that ran like trolleys. They ran like trolleys, but they were buses. And then I saw a real trolley along the sea line. And so I went and whispered to a visitor company. We're a company that helped promote business. And so, and I was hearing Ed Turnick, and then we had, I thought, wouldn't it be awesome if we could have an old vintage trolley? Well, I think I want to give this to Dick Greco, and I won't take it. I think it was a nice, wonderful thing that Dick Greco, our mayor, did, and I don't want to take anything from him at all, but maybe we had similar ideas, and the trolley happened. If you speak it, it might just happen. So I still want to speak it because I think we should have done light rail 30 years ago, because we lost out on the Olympics. So I want to talk about, okay, so what if a politician had an idea of running light rail up 75? Okay, I-75, run it along there. Well, the issue is that a lot of cities are not near 75, really. Their downtown areas are inward. You got to understand that these cities were built before 75. In fact, my grandfather came in 1946 or 47 to Tampa Bay, and he talked about coming down here, and most of the interstate system didn't even exist. You had highways 301, you had state roads that you had to follow. Interstate systems simply did not exist. Towns were not built by interstate systems. So, here's the thing. The Pinellas Trail actually goes straight into downtown St. Pete. This goes this trail goes all the way to downtown Clearwater. Downtown Clearwater all the way to downtown Tarpon Springs, Newport Richey. So here's the thing why I think the Pinellas Trail should be one of the first places that we should put light rail. Because we already have people renting out scooters and things like that. You have major events, Tropicana Field, and etc. You already have that. You have major events happening in the downtown St. Pete area. You have people living, and the real problem is this traffic. Now, people living in Tarpon Springs all got to fight down 19. It's only going to get worse. So I say, let's help get people, not just for work, but also for entertainment. Most of our major businesses are being handled. A lot of things are being handled nowadays in the downtown areas. We want to get people there. Now, 75 is on the outskirts of cities. Then you got to take a bus in. I think we need to go straight into the downtown areas of major cities with this light rail system that I'm proposing. We'll be able to use scooters and things like that to get to the train. Now you get off of work, you work downtown, you scooter up to your train, and you leave it. It's a rental scooter, and then you get on the train and you go all the way to Spring Hill, okay? Because you can't afford to live in St. Pete anymore, and this is happening in a lot of cities. In Austin, they have a rail system that takes you out to Round Rock. This is things that are happening in many major other cities. So I'm proposing to make the investment for light rail using the Pinellas Trail. Now, if you put a light rail system to connect cities along 75, you're taking people out on the outskirts, and then they're going to have to take a bus. So that's all I got to say as I keep trying to talk up this idea, because a rail system, and I think a raised rail system that has as few stops as possible. I'm not talking about replacing the buses. I'm talking about connecting cities. It stops at cities, downtown cities. It goes from St. Pete on a raised rail and races to downtown Clearwater, drops people off and races over either to Tarpon Springs or Newport Richey, and then races on to Spring Hill, and then Hudson, and then Brooks Hill. That's what I think needs to happen. That's my story, and I hope it catches on. Thank you very much.